for their further education, for anything. They trust you. And like all saying that, you know, take village to raise a child. So my father was practiced then and have to feed everybody, provide financially support for the educations. But I noticed one thing, no matter what, you know, again, it's education. You know, I can't blame my parents for not giving me the priority for education. But I noticed that when I was grow up, any activity that you do, you have to get approval, especially you are a woman. Because also what's happening, because of the war, your parents become more insecure to let your daughter to go out and get involved in the community or learn something, be independent, to learn about the leaderships and responsibility. Your responsibility is domestic. If you know how to sewing, you're the best wife or the best daughter, you know, for your husband and for your family. So this is true. It's not a stereotype. And then just I realized when I was have to go to, I finished my high school. When I finished my high school, a lot of my brothers, they went in further education, or if the one who could not, because financially if they could not go to study, they would have some power to look after the men, or they have right more than the girls, so they make sure they have a power to control the girls. And I look around, it was just normal. Again, because I think that back then our parents have no difference. They don't know any difference, because what the parents pass on to them is become normal. So in my generation, I still experienced that. And when everybody when I finished my high school, I tried to, because again at that time, in my family it's different, because my brother was also, they are men, but they try their best. They know how to cook, they know how to cleaning up the house if they wanted. But I noticed women have more first responsibility. You know, that's like a primary role for you. For men, they can do. My brothers, they can do, but they have a choice to say, "Oh, I'm tired," you know. But with us, you know, we can't. And all these things make me. I look all this. I can't say and describe so much, but if I look back and I was thinking, oh my gosh, how far I come, it makes you resilience and understand and forgiveness again. And you forgive your brother for being so bossy to you, or forgive your father because, oh, you know, when everybody it's okay, they finish high school. Back then you have to send your children to Indonesia, to other countries to have a university study. And at that time, my time, if you are a girl, if you are quiet, if you're scared to ask, you're scared to put your hands up, you will miss out. So I was one of them. And I said, okay. I said, what if I ask them, how about me? How about me? I want to go too. And I say, if I ask, what if there's not enough money for the rest of it? So I keep it to myself. So what makes me occupied and carry on with my life positively was join choir. What I do is singing in the church. And not only me, there's a lot of people back there, I'm sure they all experience the same, but the only thing to carry us through was involve in the church, singing, try to improvise for your well-being. But also, saying that, your parents they make decisions which one you can join or not. But back then, in my experience, I was supposed to be a nun. It was just like something that it's a big pride for them. And another thing, if you don't, you give up, don't go, and you give up halfway, there's a big shame for family. See, this is again. Because to be honest, back then, church, the church play a good role, because the parents trust. That's the only, some of the place they can send their children, the daughter especially, to go in there. So I was being sent to the to the supposed to be a nun back then, but before you be a nun, you gotta have a meeting all the time and learning some skills, basic skills. So that was why our parents was very positive on sending us to that. The benefit is to learn domestic things and other things that they say women should know. So anyway, unfortunately, I didn't become a nun. I became a mother. Now, so with the 2 kids. But for me, I believe that whatever faith you are, whether you become a nun or not, you have your missions in every different way. So I'm with my husband. I've tried my best to just support him in a small way. And I just wish that because I have a son, I hope that they learn how to believe that we're all equal. And if you want to do world change, you talk about equality, you start from your family to respect your woman or girl, and they have to have believed that they're all equal. So this is, I hope it makes sense. I'm a bit overwhelmed because talking about it, I could go forever, but I hope it makes sense. It means a lot to me.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience, your life in Timor-Leste, and then as a refugee here. Can you share with us what's the position of your husband now?
Okay. Can I begin before that? I met him in Sydney. He was a consul general
of Timor-Leste.
It's been a few years in there, and I was back then. I was just start my life being as a refugee, myself, asylum seeker. After independence, my father left because being that age, he's an active man. He's not a perfect man, but he tried his best. He went back home, and so we stay here, have to pay our rent, so we try with whatever English we have to survive and pay your rent. And so I met, and then I met my husband. He was consul general there, and we had one child, was born in Sydney, and one in Canberra. And we've been posted here since 2010 as ambassador. We are the 3rd ambassador for Timor-Leste, and we're honored for this position. We were supposed to post it to Belgium, and they look around and they see, they call Abel, say, Abel, guess what, we need you back. So we come back here, and it's happily ever after. And he is now the dean, because we've been here for 6 years. My second son's born in here. He's 7 now, so excuse my calculation, but he's 7 now. So he's a dean for diplomatic corps. And we learn from this journey and seeing a different nationality born together. Because I come from a small country, you listen, you only can see or hear from television or radio, and you only know what you hear. But when you come together in this diplomatic journey, I learned so much that everybody is special. We all share this commonality as a human. We all have rights, we have a feeling, and once you all have a problem, we just realize, oh my gosh, they just like us, not what we heard, just a few points that we heard on the radio or television. So we are privileged for this journey, and I'm learning as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. So shall we invite the next...